Okay, Reaper Man here, and I'm just doing a little recording test that's kind of testing out this new sync setting that I'm using to try and capture everything at 59.94, and I'm going to try it with local capture first, and then I'm going to upload it to YouTube and see how YouTube deals with not quite 60 FPS, because I don't know about you guys, but when I'm watching these videos and I see that one frame of stutter, that one double frame, it drives me up a wall. So we're going to give this a try. And right now what I've got is Super Drift Out. This is a Japanese-only game. It's an overhead racing game. Very nice game. It's got a course builder in it, and it's got a lot of tracks. And it's an overhead racer, which is it's kind of a genre that I really like. This one's kind of not just an overhead racer like Micro Machines is, but this one's a little different in that it does the arcade rally thing, where it shows the next corner up on the top of the screen. And I call this kind of racing, here comes the curve. I think you'll see why here. Come on, let's pick one of these cars. Now, if I recall, not all the cars in this game are licensed. So we will go with the WRC game. We'll go with the new game. And then I'll remember which button does what. Alright, so this is go with that. So I can pick my Subaru Impreza WRX, my Toyota Celica GT4, not the Ford, it's a Tord S-Force, Cosworth, whatever, Mitsubishi Lancer, and the Lancia Delta. So I will choose, I guess I'll choose the Toyota. Alright, and this is also one where the screen turns, not just the car, so it takes a little getting used to here, and I probably should have done some warming up before I tortured you with my horrible gameplay. And also, the rustier you are at this, the more vomit-inducing the capture will probably be. So, here comes the turn. There's a nice little Capcom arcade game. I forget the name of it, but it's kind of a lot like this. But I definitely do like it when the screen, the whole background rotates. I do kind of care for that. And for those wondering why I'm slamming into the wall so much, it's a little hard to manage on this. Now, I am using a wireless retro-bit controller hooked to my Super Nintendo, which may be kind of part of it, but I don't think I can blame lag on this one. It just might take a little more skill than I have, especially so rusty. And you really can't go flat out here, or else you will hit the wall so hard that it will cost you time. But no, I do like this one. This game, if I recall, has weather effects. It's clearly got some day-night action going on here. It ticks a lot of the boxes that I do enjoy in a racing game. Jeez. I hope I paid a little attention to my next here comes the corner, right? Here comes the corner! And I'm sure there's a good rhythm to how much warning I have in corners, but I'm not in tune enough with the game to really have that. And it's actually about all I can do to keep any kind of conversation going here. Whee! I think I might have flipped a checkpoint, but the game doesn't seem to care. Let's have another look at this. Alright, so yeah, fifth place. I don't think I'm going to save this. So the track editor is also kind of fun to mess around with in this game. It's a really great game. It plays all in English. And if you got a flash card, I highly recommend trying this one out. Especially if you like overhead racing games and arcade-style rally games. This one scratches both itches, and it's on Super Nintendo, doesn't require any kind of crazy hardware to get a good picture out of it. You know, it'll do RGB right out of the box. Or, you know, whatever kind of upscaler you're using. I'm of course using the FrameMeister. I know I've mentioned it in previous videos. And I think the FrameMeister is still considered probably the best one out there, but there's a few things that it doesn't do that I kind of want it to do. And one of the big ones that I wanted to do is to be able to kind of rotate the video, so I can do some arcade shmups with vertical screens on it. I just think that'd be awesome because I don't have a cabinet with a vertically mounted screen. I've just got one horizontal cabinet, a whole bunch of games for that. But I want to get into the world of vertical. You know, get the old Super Gun hooked up here and enjoy maybe streaming some vertical arcade games. But the FrameMeister will not do that. It also takes a little bit longer to sync onto a signal than I'd prefer. So the 16-bit generation is generally pretty good with it, but when you start getting up to your Saturns and your PlayStations, there are a lot of games that switch between resolutions fairly rapidly and regularly, and it seems to me the fancier the game is, the more often it does it. And it takes the FrameMeister so long to sync between, say, a low-res game and a high-res menu that, for example, in Gran Turismo 2, the first 5 seconds of the race is just black screen for me, and I just gun the gas, and that's all I can do. Oh, looks like there's a couple of paths here, so we got to pay a little attention to the map. I think this might be a one-on-one. Yep. I do have some nice vague memories of really enjoying this game, but I do not remember exactly everything about it, and I think I'm coming up on a triangle. Yep. Go straight across, coming down the back side of the triangle. Whoop. And it's making me cut through the middle. And up the other side, and going through the flat part again, coming down one of the long sides. Is it going to force me to turn? It is. And it's making me go backwards now. Halfway done. Around the little triangle bit, up the long side and through the middle. Got it. And around the flat back. On the long side, is it going to make me cut through the middle or keep going? It says keep going. Go down to the triangle angle bit. Up this one, straight through. Nope, halfway through. And this thing again. Alright. Woo! Super Drift Out King in my Toyota. Back when Toyota's made interesting cars, you can get like a GT4 or an MR2 or a Supra, and all at the same time, and now there's just not a lot at the Toyota dealer. I digress. Kenya in Kenya orange, as is tradition. Now there will come up to a point where I just cannot cope with this style of gameplay, and I usually get to like some kind of snow before that happens. Narrow little roads here in Kenya. That is the worst thing that can happen. Okay, alright. So now the road is a barely perceptible little kind of, I don't know, game path, I guess. This car is just annoying the hell out of me. Yeah. Oh. Okay, no, that's actually the worst thing. Ah. I don't think I did well on that one. Finish? Finishing's encouraging. There are a lot of tracks in this game. I have no idea how many, because this game starts to kind of piss me off long before that. But if there ever aren't enough, you can always make your own. Like a lot of the best overhead racers at the time. Micro Machines even had one where you could design your own tracks. Turbo Tournament 96. European exclusive, so I've never played it right because it plays way too fast on my Genesis. Someday I should probably get a European Genesis now that I'm, upscaling. I could probably... Ah, gee, this is one vicious track, and here comes the worst part is all of this stuff. Ooh. Yeah, I don't think I can blame the controller on my performance here. I'm just not tracking as much as I should. And I suppose instead of even considering blaming the controller, I could just plug in the controller I have sitting back there and stop whining. I just saved over my save game. That's okay. A lot of broken roads in this one. Apparently this is some kind of a highway repair project here. When does the snow start? I have some really old footage on my channel of me playing this game. I think I got it with a DVD recorder. Because that was my, before I got this thing, my best method of capturing old game video. Found that the DVD recorder just was a little bit less hassle than all of the DVR solutions of the time. Because they didn't try and deal with deinterlacing it inside, which is good because I couldn't afford a DVR that was good at deinterlacing, so I just had software do it later. So this is also my first real test of recording on my new game system over here. So the previous computer I'd been recording on kind of took a dump, and it was an FX system. I could have fixed it, but it was time for it to go. So I got one of them new Ryzen systems, and now the whole Ryzen seems to be awfully bored with me, and I don't seem to be working the chip very hard, despite my best attempts to multitask it. Is this a one-on-one, or is this a... I think this is probably a one-on-one. See here in a second. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh. Definitely need the brakes on this. This is all about car control, which is why I really like this one. A lot of the arcade racers are flat out, and you just kind of crank on the wheel and slide around the corners. And there's times that's fun, but there's also times when it's really fun to try and do precision driving, even though I'm clearly sucking at it here. Yeah, sure, I'll say. More broken roads. Okay, so hopefully this footage of Super Drift Out will be a lot better than my last footage of it. Now that I'm recording, you know, 1080p 60 instead of DVD recorder. The DVD recorder didn't do badly, but the video standards of the day, YouTube didn't do it any favors. Also, frame rate 60 was definitely not standard back then. And like I say, this is a new sync thing I'm trying, where I'm actually trying to do the video at 59.94, which seems to be syncing great, and we'll see how well this works. You know, when I get it up to YouTube, see how YouTube deals with those extra frames. I'm not terribly hopeful, but it is YouTube, the biggest name in video whatever, so maybe they've got a nice way of encoding it to take care of that. And I think this is just something I'm going to have to futz with, because a lot of my systems, well, a few of my systems aren't 59.94. I've got the NT Mini that I like recording a lot of my older 8-bit games on is going to be straight 60 FPS, so I'm going to have to futz with this setting a bit. I've also got just a little bit of delay that I'm trying to put into my webcam to really sync up all of my signals, and you know, I may have screwed that up a bit. We'll see. Shorter tests were initially pretty good. Well, now I'm trying to think of other really good kind of Japan-only games that you can play with a flash card. And a lot of them are just going to require translations, and a lot of the RPG type ones do have really good translations, like Tactics Ogre. I highly recommend it. It seems to be kind of the forerunner to Final Fantasy Tactics in quite a lot of ways. They seem to share a lot of assets. Oh geez, this track. Oh geez, this track. But I like to call that game the getting screwed over simulator, because it doesn't actually seem to matter what you do in the game. You just kind of find new ways to get screwed over. Also, if you're willing to put in the time for all these weird little patches and decrypting what you can do, the Star Ocean game looks really impressive and perhaps pushes the system almost a little too hard. And I think that might be best used, or best, you know, saved for the repro cartridge on that one. But that's another great Japanese-only game. Jeez, what game? Okay, now this game has got me thoroughly turned around on this kind of figure-of-8 track here. Well, I lost, but that's a rally. So the controller I'm using is one of these Retrobit wireless ones. A lot of people complain about them having sync problems. And indeed, I had a lot of sync problems with this when I got it, and then one day they mysteriously stopped. So I bought a second one, and no matter what I do on that second one, it has sync problems, so I don't really know what the deal is on it. I guess there's the sync problems are very obvious. It'll just drop me when I'm in the middle of a race. You would just see the thing go completely dead. So I'm definitely not having that anymore, because it's been more than enough time for it to do it. It did it every few minutes, so it was only good for RPGs and that kind of thing. But if you happen to get a good one of these Retrobit controllers, if that actually exists, they work great. I don't know if they just need some warming up or what. Part of the problem, I also haven't tested it on this Super Nintendo. My other Super Nintendo, I just had one die on me, so it was doing weird things like the overlay in Super Mario Kart wasn't working right and stuff like that, so that may have had something to do with the controller losing sync, but this one never lost sync. I've been losing a lot of game consoles lately, unfortunately. Don't know what it is. I've got everything, trying to get everything onto managed power, but still having some trouble with it. The last thing that went in my house was my Atari 800. That was my first game system, so I tend to like to have a bit too much of an Atari 800 setup going. Technically, it's an 800 XL, so. But the latest one I have came pre-installed with a video mod, so at least I got that going. It's apparently what everybody says is the current best one. I see a lot of vertical bars with that new video mod I've got, but I'm not sure I mind yet. There's worse things than vertical bars in a game system. Alright, I'm up to round 6. Railroad tracks? No, that's just an overgrown road. Oh, here comes the turn. Lots of jumps. Yeah, these jumps right after corners that you hit sideways will really mess you up. I do remember that being a thing. A thing that made me restart some of these tracks. So right now I'm actually getting kind of frighteningly far at the first go in this. It's maybe not as hard as the arcade ones. Well, it's not. But it's also maybe not as hard as it needs to be. I shouldn't be getting this all on the first try here. Missed that one by a second and a half. I think that's how it goes. The yellow and then the red is over. I'll see it when I look at the replay. It's nighttime, you know, because that was just a little too easy before. Ease track. We definitely are precise. This might be the same track I just ran on, just backwards or something. Holy cow, that's 8 seconds. So a lot of multi-path stuff, so this is going to be one of those dual levels where I'm racing against just one car. Yeah, I totally did awesome there. Jeez, game. There's just a little too much split pathing on this here level. I've definitely lost it. Well, maybe not. Just because I was so far ahead on that last one. Jeez. Hmm. Okay. No snow yet. But I really do like the track variety in this. They throw enough tracks at you that it's clear that you're not expected to memorize any of it. Because there are some rally games where I feel like you're definitely supposed to memorize the course. That's not really the spirit of rally. You're supposed to just kind of get notified of the next corner and just learn how to deal with it on the fly. Now we got maybe the level that I don't like so much. Ours definitely seems to be driving different. Oh geez, I don't even know which way the corner goes. Do it without hitting absolutely everything. I think that I am about to lose this one. Oh. Yeah, it's a fairly straightforward track. Once you get used to this whole not being able to see far ahead and the background is what's turning things, this game is really a lot of fun. It's definitely like it's not like most of these types of games on console. Got a good bit of a different feeling than say F1 Circus or trying to think of some other big overhead racers. Micro Machines it definitely has a different feel than those. I suck there. Okay, so I think I finished the rally, and I think that means that I'm probably going to finish the video here. Best result, I'm not even